Over the years, I've come to believe that when a troubadour visits the old songs, then spirits are resurrected. So, an invocation. I'll sing a song of storm-tossed oceans, standing upon my native shore, and dream of climbing cloud-torn mountains while gazing up from the forest floor. They sing of the dreams that have long gone by, those that will never be. The haunting sighs, the battle cries, resurrected in harmony. Yes, we'll sing of the sighs and the battle cries of those who are wiser than we, and we'll call to the spirits who laugh in the night in hopes that they'll join with me. My country is a thee, sweet land of liberty,
Bully for you, boy. Bragging saves advertising.
Oh, press so hard they could not stand. Let my people out of shame go down. Moses way down in Egypt land. Tell old Pharaoh to let my people go.
In the 1850s, an old ex-sailorman traveled the South as a house painter. He had a wooden peg for a left leg. The slaves had a name for him. They called him the Old Man. For the old man's way going
Woodward had an old slave named Ulla, said to be a native African. Her sudden glance made us wince as though actually pricked.
Now you see that great fire sword blazing in the sky. Now that's a great war coming. And the handles toward the north and the point toward the south. And the north's going to take that sword and cut the south's heart out. But that Lincoln man chilling us. If he take that sword, he going to perish bound.
Well, Jeff Davis, time to go down and go.
It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Well, South Carolina's too small to be a country, and too too big to be a lunatic asylum.
Down in Washington, go down in Washington. Oh, wait, we can help build up a better one down in Washington.
So it was going to be a war.
So what a marvelous experience a little war begins to produce.
We'll hoist on high the bonny blue flag that bears a single star.
Hurrah, hurrah, for Southern rights, hurrah. Hurrah for the bonny blue flag that bears a single star. The Union River, hurrah, boys, hurrah. Down in the crater and up with the star. Hurrah, the flag was shouting once again. Shouting the battle fire ring.
It was two black brothers who created the song. Two arms, two arms, two arms, another tune that's been pretty much exclusively associated with the North, that actually got its start deep in the South. Good song, and it worked. And then along came a do-gooder from Boston. That's where most do-gooders come from. Julia Ward Howe.
The wished-for lines were arranging themselves in my brain. I hastily arose, saying to myself, I shall lose this if I don't write it down immediately. In the beauty of the lilies, Christ was born across the sea. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on.
And the North had an anthem and a crusade.
Oh Lord, oh dear Lord, we pray thee that this day be set apart for our President, Jefferson Davis, and God. I pray thee to direct a bullet or bayonet to pierce the heart of every Northern soldier who invades Southern soil.
For the wounded and the dying, that night on Shiloh Hill. Over the fields where April rain solaced the parched ones all stretched in pain. Through the pause of night that followed the Sunday fight around that church of Shiloh.
We shall meet, but we shall be saved. There will be one vacant chair. We shall linger to chorus in while we breathe our evening breath.
Don't you cry, poor little things crying. Hush-a-bye, please don't cry. Go to sleep, my little baby.
I found 32 worms, ants, and maggots in my cracker the day before yesterday.
Their regard never ends, how they loved us, those old army bugs.
I think there are 50 on my person at this time. But I don't mind them, they don't trouble me much.
Most of them, about 500,000, died from disease. Mostly measles, mostly dysentery, army bugs. Oh, farewell, mother, you may never press me to your heart again. But oh, you'll not forget me, mother, if I'm numbered with the slain.
Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me.
He sat back for a minute, rested, and reached forward, picked up the pen and wrote, slowly and firmly, Abraham Lincoln. Looking up, he smiled, sighed, and said, "That'll do."
No more weeping, Lord. No more weeping. No more weeping over me. And before I be a slave, Lord, I'll be buried in my grave. Then I will go home. Yes, I'll go home. Then I'll go home. Lord, I'll go home. Then I'll go home to my Lord, 'cause I am free.
Dan Butterfield. Dan Butterfield, you know, he thought maybe he could come up with something better. He brought his bugler into his tent, and that night they put together We've been tenting tonight on the old campground. Give us a song to cheer our weary hearts, a song of home. Friends we love so dear. Tenting tonight, tenting tonight, tenting on the old campground. All quiet along the Potomac tonight, where the the soldiers lie peacefully dreaming, and he mutters a prayer for the children asleep, and their mother, may heaven defend her.
Slumber, my darling, thy mother is near, guarding thy dreams from all terror and fear. Sunlight has passed, and the twilight has gone. Slumber, my darling, the night's coming on. Weeping, sad and lonely, hopes and fears have faded away. When this cruel world is over, rain and
He passes the fountain, the blasted pine tree, those footsteps is lagging and weary. It looked like a rifle, a merry goodbye, and his lifeblood is ebbing and plashing, tending to die, tending to die. Quiet along the Potomac tonight, no sound save the rush of the river, yet soft falls the dew on the face of the dead. The pickets off duty forever, tenting tonight, tenting tonight, tenting on the old campground.
Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child, a long way from home, a long way from home.
I have not seen a gal in so long a time that I would not know what to do with myself if I were to meet one. Although I reckon I would learn before I left her.
Coralie, Coralie, maid with golden hair, sunshine came along with thee, and swallows in the air.
And military bands would sit up on hillsides and play this while the men struggled and fought, murdered and died in the valley below. The sun can never dip so low down affection's cloudless sky.
Breaking the morning,
anymore. It's thanks to us. When we first showed them we could fight.
No more auction block for me. No more, no more. Oh, no more auction block for me.
Now you eat a whole great big plate full of them goober peas in one sitting, then you gotta plan your next couple days sorta careful like. You don't wanna find yourself too far from facilities and you find yourself making all sorts of unsociable noises, hence this next verse. Just before the battle, while the general hears a row, he says the Yanks are coming, I can hear their rifles now. Pow, 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 he turns around and wonder, what do you think he sees? The Georgia militia laying Cooper peas. Peas, 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 Cooper peas. Goodness, how delicious, eating Cooper peas. Well, I think my song has lasted almost long enough. My subject's interesting, but the rhymes are mighty rough. So I wish this war was over. A brave man and one of the best shots in the brigade. He raised his rifle. The officer exposed himself again. Bang went Driscoll, over went the officer, his company at once breaking away. It was harrowing to witness. He was his son, who'd gone south before this war.
I wish this war.
Appomattox. There was to be one final murderous, massive charge, federal charge. And then white flags began appearing along the lines and even the birds fell silent. As officers from both sides came forward to meet in that now quiet killing ground, spontaneously, without any prompting from both sides, the bands began to play Old Lang Syne.
General Lee's surrender had been announced. Washington was ablaze with excitement. Delirious multitudes surged to the White House, calling the president down for a speech. He said in his quaint way that he had no speech ready, and concluded humorously,
I have always thought Dixie one of the best tunes I ever heard. I insisted yesterday that we had fairly captured it. I presented the question to the Attorney General and he gave his opinion that it is our lawful prize. I asked the band to give us a good turn about it.
and in that little speech he claimed to the South by right of conquest a song, and nothing more.
Back when Confederate captain got carried away, he said, I swear you wouldn't have won the war, except for the fact you might have had better songs. And so they sang those songs, and then they sang songs together. The night came to a close, and the Confederate officers took their leave. The last one out the door was Longstreet. He paused for a second and turned back to those fellas, and he said, you know, gentlemen, I hope, I believe that very soon we will be able to sing together that fine old song, the Star-Spangled Banner. Oh, thus be it heaven, where free men shall stand, between their loved homes and the war's desolation. Blessed with victory and peace, may the heavens rescued land praise the power that hath made and preserved us a nation. Then conquer we must when our cause it is just, and thus be our motto, in God is our trust. Then the stars span